So I feel like it's a certain possibility just to be able to deal a lot of damage,
Radiant
give some
team
high
pick.
ground benefits coming
Disruptor.
through. Disruptor, this is a squishy support duo, that's for sure. Single target as well. Not great wave clear. So I wonder if that's something that they might try and exploit on Neon. They've already banned out the Broodmother though
10
on
seconds
Execration, so they're not
remaining.
feeling too concerned about everything.
5
Yeah, and you're already
seconds
showing the
remaining.
Mars as well, so a little bit difficulty with picking a hero like the Lycan. But and maybe you could put him in a 1 because you do have the Grimstroke to enable that lane.
Dire
But
team pick.
what are they going to pick
In
up for
the
Execration?
spirit.
Alright, so we're going to
Isn't
the
Lil
bot.
Gun.
That
They're
is
in the
very
upper
true.
bracket.
That's very true. Do you just OD Mirana? Like a very good matchup versus the Ember. Saves
Yep.
nice versus the Disruptor. I don't hate it versus, of course, the Wraith King
10
Enchantress because you're
seconds remaining.
plenty of damage.
My concern is still
5
like,
seconds remaining.
mm, I guess Grimstroke can kind of deal with the Wraith King skeletons as well. I'm just worried about OD and like
Yeah,
he
maybe.
is quite single target early on.
Radiant team ban.
I
So
will
that was
conquer.
what I was I was gonna try and say then, because we brought the Conquer up earlier as soon as we saw the Mirana, where like there's Bane, OD, Conquer potential. If you're worried about kind of the skellies and lane shoving, then Conquer's able to provide that. Matches
Dire team
relatively
ban.
well versus the Ember, give a slight edge, but nothing too crazy. It's a decent counter to Glimpse as well. Like if you are in a position, you can get the
Radiant
X
team
out,
ban.
drag them back. So and it's flexible now as well. You can go Conquer Grimstroke. You can give Avatar mode the Conquer into the Ember matchup. So I like this pick a lot for Neon.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to just give this to the mid lane avatar mode on the Conquer. It's good against the Ember Spirit, particularly early
10
on.
seconds
Ember Spirit
remaining.
is an agi hero, so he's going to get that good agi gain, get a lot more
5
armor. But
seconds
early on, he
remaining.
has less than 3 armor, so Conquer is able to deal a good amount of physical damage to him with a Tidebringer in the early stages. Unless he's, of course, able to dodge it out with a Sleight of Fist. We've seen some of the best Ember Spirit players in the world, like Yopaj, be able to do that into, what is a bad matchup to even it out a whole lot. So see what
Dire
happens there.
team
And of
ban.
course, like I said before, Kunkka, one of those great heroes at being able to deal with the Wraith King split push, just with your X marks and Enchantress, Disruptor. Very capable of killing those two as well, even with the Enchantress or through the Untouchable, just with the Tiebringers. So I like it. I
10
think it's a
seconds
very good
remaining.
overall pick, and it's one of those advantages that you have with being second pick. I believe
5
Neon won the
seconds
toss and chose
remaining.
second pick as their first choice, so they're reaping the benefits of that already.
Radiant team pick.
Execration. Do you feel like there's any room for a Night Stalker here to maybe enable the Disruptor and Ember?
Mm, it's okay. I mean, again, on the Mirana, on the Grimstroke, it's going to be very solid, right? And I guess against the Mars, it's pretty
10
decent as well.
seconds remaining.
I wouldn't hate it, but the thing is, you don't know what you're laning into, right? So it just makes
5
it so
seconds
challenging.
remaining.
Like, what if they just picked up a Monkey King against you and then you've got a horrible lane? And it's good against the Wraith King and it's good against the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, that's definitely the concern of what I'm looking at the moment, because you didn't ban out you banned out the Razor, which is a pretty hefty lane dominator, but Monkey, like you said, is available. Ursa is a potential if they want to go down that route. Plays pretty well into the Wraith King. Nothing too crazy. So you still, again, don't even know if this Conk is going to be flexed, but like you're saying, more than likely into the Ember Spirit matchup. So
Dire
probably just
team
going for
pick.
like a stable 3 for Tino,
Behold
and
the horn of
Magnus is going to be the hero for them. I mean, they've got really nice ways to amplify Bob and now Palos as well.
Yeah, for sure. I would say Bob in
Choose your
particular,
hero.
right, is going to be very good for that. Yeah, you always seem to be a bit of a fan of the Morphling. What do you think about that this game?
Hang on, what? Why?
I'm asking you. You're the Morphling connoisseur.
I'm not
Any
the.
time it's picked up,
I'm
you
no.
seem to like it.
That's just not true. I feel like every time we've seen the Morphling so far, I've been like, I don't know what this hero wants to play into anymore. Like,
Mm.
okay, so I still think he wants to play into lanes that have no stuns and no way to kill him, and he has that. It's going to be a mag. A mag actually Enchantress lane. Shang's picking up the Ench, and Vincenzo's
I
going to
think
be
he
on the
just
Disruptor.
Well, he just doesn't want to lane into the Mirana, right, on the Enchantress.
Sure,
So I think that's why they've made that
sure.
swap.
Okay.
Um, as Neon might look to do the same, right? It's not a terrible lane, Mirana Morphling. If you're out of position, you can maybe get kills. I mean, it's an okay amount of damage, but Yeah, certainly something that, I mean, on Asta, just trying to think here, like, who does he even want to morph into? I guess Bob's all right to morph into just with a sleight of fist. Glimpse can be quite nice just to make sure people are in
I
range.
mean, Mag can be quite nice. You've got really
Yeah.
high base damage, so if you just empower yourself, then you're chilling. You are
Mhm.
cruising. I don't know if they're gonna get much value out of the disruptor. I like it. They don't have ways to amplify the vision. And
Mm.
who's like gonna be running aggressive? I feel like you've got to win your lanes and have Enchantress looking to play with the Ember Spirit. You got to Creep just running heroes down, giving you vision. Bob jumps in, you get the glimpse back, but I don't know how active Tino's going to be. More than likely, Palos is not going to be crazy active, and really feel like Neon just have much better ways to execute these fights.
Yeah, I do too. I think Neon have the better end of the laning phase as well. And so, like you said, it really feels like the only way that Execration are going to be able to get active is through Bob.
Prepare for battle.
And I feel like Bob is in a losing lane right now against Avatar mode. So we'll see what he's able to do with it. Like I said, Ember Spirit, the right click build certainly was buffed up a whole lot with the most recent patch, and it's going to be amplified even further with Tino's Empower coming through for those early engagements. So maybe that's going to be enough to be able to break the game in Execration's favor, but I'm probably favoring Neon, at least just in terms of the draft.
So you're copying me again.
Really, we're starting this from the beginning.
Yeah, what do you mean? Come on, it's a brand new day. We got to keep it going. Gotta add some spice to it, don't we?
I did say Neon were in the lead after the first phase, and I was calling out the Kunker from the very
30
beginning.
seconds
So
to battle.
I don't know. I feel like
What,
The
what are
only
you
thing I'm a
saying?
little,
Shut up.
the only
No.
thing I'm not as certain about is the Morphling, right? I
there's no like E-Blade build of this game for him as well, so it's not like he can ever even benefit from someone else that wants to go the E-Blade. That is the one thing I'm a little more concerned about for Neon as to what exactly he's going to be doing early on. But I feel like the other four heroes are going to be able to accomplish plenty, so it's not going to be quite as big of an issue.
The battle
You're already seeing the
begins.
friendly banter as well between Abeng and Palos. The slight back and forth, of course. The ex-teammates, we did have that storyline, I suppose, a couple of days ago with the groups, but now a little bit more's on the line here. You don't want to be that second team eliminated from the Pro Series 10. There's a lot of money on the line. Your first place potential 20 grand. So you want to fight it for pride. And we'll see how they're going to come out on top here. I think one thing you did mention as we jumped in is that maybe the Tino Empower could really break open how much damage Bob along with Palos are going to be able to do through these fights. So we'll have to keep an eye on how the Mag's going to be able to get his farm in the lane. Are you expecting him to have a decent time?
I think he'll be okay. I mean, you've got good base damage, not exactly that you're trading against Asta. That's going to be Shanks' job to make sure that he's just constantly bullying this Morphling, which he's doing a good job so far, having the Blightstone super early on. And Jing, you are slightly ahead in terms of like what you're able to deal out in right clicks, but the range, the harass with the impetus, he's not really all that concerned about taking a lot of damage. He's just wanting to deny as much farm from Asta as possible.
And mid lane, Avatar mode up against Bob. You were speaking about, the potential slights just to dodge a couple of the Tidebringers. It does seem like there's going to be a bit of an advantage with the Conquer in regards to his harassment, but the Ember can also do the same against the melee matchup. And I feel like it's, again, another lane where we see no team blocking the small camp.
I mean, both of them really want to be doing it in this one. Like, this is what I was talking about, right? Bob just gets completely bullied out super early on. At least he's able to stand underneath that mid-tier 1 tower, but early on, Ember Spirit's agi gain isn't that great. He's got the bottle coming out to him now, so he's going to be able to regenerate a little bit of his mana. And health, actually. But, yeah, Avatar mode doing a good job to bully him out, as all good Conquer players should be doing.
Do you feel like either side has maybe a little bit better ways to secure the runes mid?
Now. Your admiral is on board.
Probably the Mirana team, as always, right? It's just so much easier for you to rotate through. You've got set up for the arrow as well with the X marks. Just got to be careful that a sleight of fist has been used at the time. Trying to cut off the avenue to be able to go for that water rune there. It looks like avatar mode should be able to claim it. It's just really in two minds. He's got to just get to that rune.
What's going on here? Does he want to last hit? Does he want to go get the rune?
No, but he lost a lot of time while he was making that decision.
And last lane bottom at the moment. Looking very even. You know, we were saying at the start, we were kind of expecting it to be a Mirana Mars lane and a Wraith King Enchantress lane. How do you feel like this is going to be different now with the Grimstroke and Disruptor being here?
I mean, it's basically the same for Neon's side, right? Like, if you get a spear off, it's very easy to just get the Ink Swell, follow up with the stun from there. I mean, it's just a change, right, to make sure that the Mirana is laning into that Enchantress. And look at Shanks. He's realizes, well, this probably isn't going to be the best lane for me if I just stand around with a creep. It's just going to get arrowed, so let's go down the puppy route, be a little bit greedier.
Even like this early rotation mid might catch Avatar mode off guard. It does do a decent amount of damage here, but the slide from afar could be enough to get the kill, and it looks like it is. This is huge. Bob finds first blood. They're going to have the full lane shove onto the tower as well, so Avatar mode's going to miss a lot of creeps.
Been doing his best to make sure he gets at least the water rune removed from the equation, so Bob doesn't get the double value there. But yeah, like you mentioned, it is a lot of experience lost. Full wave underneath the tower. Now it's the lane isn't even in a good place, right? It's pushed all the way onto the Radiant side of the map.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Really impressed with Shanks lately. Did
Yeah,
I sent you that screenshot, right, of our friend Ponlo talking about
yes.
Shanks?
What
Called him the next Tims.
Yeah. He's got
High
some
praise.
experience with him. Very high praise. Asta, Soul Ring Morphling.
Out of my way!
Well,
Soul Ring Morphling? I mean, I guess just to be able to farm with waveform, because you're getting bullied out fairly nicely by Shanks whenever he's in the lane.
no, alright, nice hit. I'm from Jing. Blocks up the hard camp. And Shank's still got multiple camps to play with, though. Bottom lane, Palos. I've been in a little bit of trouble, and that's more than a little bit of trouble. Playing with the one charge. Wait, no way. Palos, how does he keep his life? And they turn it back on Enryu. He gets the claim for the kill. Oh no. And he's still alive. This man's playing with fire. And top lane, Asta is skewed back onto the tower. Waveform still on cooldown. Give him the tips, Tano. You deserve it.
Execration, getting a lot more out of this laning stage than I initially expected. Particularly that mid lane. It was a good rotation through from Shanks, but just Jing being a little bit static up here, right? I feel like there's no real point of you being in the lane if the Enchantress isn't there, so may as well try and make a rotation, but now it's too late. You've got the Fire Remnant on Bob, so it just becomes so much harder to be able to get these kills, and well, Shanks is even looking to secure the first power runes that start to spawn, so maybe even get some of those illusion bottle dodges.
I mean, this is huge because still the Conquer spam is no joke, even though Bob does have a bit of a lane advantage, but it's super important to hold the rune control, as we see at this stage in Dota. You know, with all the power runes, the water rune, Shanks shouldn't end up going down. Jing's gonna be the one to claim the life, so you'd love to get anything you really can on Asta, considering he's the lowest last hits out of all the cores at the moment.
In terms of net worth, though, it's the Conquer that's a little bit behind, as we're seeing Abing try and chase here onto the Disruptor. Might eventually get the kill. Just a little bit too far away. I was saying, like, Conquer surprisingly has very little net worth relative to everyone else on the team, even though the last hits tell a different story. Nice arrow, but yep, there's the power of that first power rune.
And Bob Remnant in aggressively, in fact. Maybe a little bit more of a difficult attempt on Avatar mode. It's just a Remnant in your face under the tower. That's just... It's giving you a signal that you gotta be cautious. I'm not afraid to dive onto the tower if need be. What's going on the backline? Avatar mode? Getting solo killed by Vincenzo at the moment. This is 2 points in a Thunderstrike, so it's damage that you have to respect, and Jing just sleeps away. Bob, does he go for it? Nah, he's not too crazy without the mana. Oh,
Shanks
he's
used
gonna
that
run into him.
Are
Sentence.
scanning.
Oh, my
Oh,
guess.
nighttime vision.
You see the arrow come out, but Jing's back in base. Yeah, Bob having a very nice lane. But then again, so is Palos on the bottom side. He's sitting at the top of the net worth charts right now. It's certainly something that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I mean, they've kind of been left to their own devices on this bottom side, though, right? I would say that much more favors Execration, though, because
Your admiral is on board.
the thing is, like, this Mars isn't offering you anything unique in this game. The Conqueror is perfectly capable for setting up for team fights, so it's not like if the Mars has a bad game, you have no way to play. It's just a nice little bonus here. Whereas the Wraith King, he's the only way that you're going to be sieging high ground. He's the only way you're going to be taking towers very
Dire's
reliably.
bottom
So the
tower
fact
is
that
under
Palos has had a
attack.
good game is a big benefit for Execration's
Radiant's
draft.
middle tower is under attack.
And we're going to see that acceleration continue as well. As actually, mid laner Bang not going to go down here. Avatar mode's able to land the combination. Now they've got another round of the Phantom's Embrace as well. But Bob gets rid of the little Phantom, sidesteps out as Enryu's trying to get involved with the arena, only clipping the Disruptor. As they're still chasing Bob down, but the lack of control an issue at the moment for Neon. So they're going to be forced to just double back here and at least get the life of Shanks as Enryu. And you were saying also how strong... Shanks duking out. He's like, at least I'll trade the life. I'll get the Mirana as well.
Bloody Seder, so strong. And even the Unholy Aura as well actually kept Ember Spirit alive for the longest time. He allowed him to survive long enough so that his magic wand was off cooldown again. Otherwise, he would have ticked out to the urn. So really clutch enchanted creep coming through there by Shanks again. He's having a very good game so
It
far.
heals like the salt sea
Up.
air.
Oh, we got away. That was very
Dire's
close.
turret has been killed.
That's RPU's now defensively, so you won't have maybe an opportunity to bring Palos drop RP for a kill and then lead it into a
Dire's
tower.
middle tower is under attack.
I mean, maybe they don't even care about bringing the Wraith King to a different lane. Doesn't have boots now, so it definitely wants to just continue farming as much as possible. But the really early armlet is going to skyrocket his net worth.
Having here, securing the top rune. So Bob's reign of terror over the power runes has come to an end, unfortunately. Does get a bottle refill anyway, though, by Tino. It's a little bonus there. I was just having a look through, like, the you've got the ancient ice shaman, and of course we know what that does, heals the giant boulder. But I was just having a look at the smaller creeps. They have 10% cooldown reduction. Wonder if there's going to be any teams that try and exploit that a little bit further.
Yeah, I saw that and was kind of waiting for some of the, mainly Eastern Europe. As Enchantress going to go down top.
Tower is under attack.
I just feel like they're exceptional Chen and Enchantress players, but we see a lot of Enchantress players down here as well. Chen's a little bit more player specific, but yeah, waiting for potentially Gamers Galaxy. We could have some of these big brain teams come out with crazy strats with the new neutrals, and all of a sudden you're just grouping up. But so does it
Radiant's top
stack?
tower is under attack.
Because I mean, you could get two if you really want to mess around and be a nuisance. I don't think it's going to be 20% reduction. It should diminish, right?
It's multiplicative now, yeah.
Still though, we got a very even game. It's only 1,000 net worth lead for the lads over on Execration. But you do have them hunting a Bang. Be able to get the glimpse back. It's really only Jing nearby to thwart this attempt from Execration. But now Bob's still going to be a little bit cautious. They're able to land the combination. Slide to dodge. Remnants out. They're going to drag it back though. Bob thought he had an escape avenue. And he still will. Another remnant in the arsenal gets Bob out to safety. And all in the meanwhile, they still kill off the Grimstroke as well.
Your admiral is on board.
He's very strong. Super early on his old mate Ember Spirit. Just getting a
Radiant's
slightly
middle tower is
larger
under
bonus
attack.
to the hero damage super early. So there's a stronger laning phase, which leads into, of course, a faster item progression. What are we looking at?
I'm just so Ashton went mag replicate. He skewed the mag back, and the mag instantly skewed him back into the position that they started. I was just, you had to be there to watch it. Danog, honestly, it's just, it's not funny anymore. You're ruining the joke.
Chained in searing heat.
Well, we've got a blink dagger on the back, so we'll see if they want to ruin any chances that we've got here for Neon to stay in the tournament, because Tino is doing surprisingly well. I know he's 6 on net worth right now, but for a Magnus in this kind of lane, it's kind of what you expect. If it was into a melee lineup, then, you know, obviously you would probably be wanting a little bit more out of this Magnus, but the fact that he's gotten away without dying a single time.
I'm surprised he revealed the blink, and
Well, ooh.
should be okay. They're going to be a bit cautious now. Tino's already used the blink, of course.
Tower is under attack.
Don't really have a way to gap close. Actually, it's going to be relying on Bob at the moment. I mean, like Shadow Bob's lacking detection. So the rest of Execration unable to get to the front
Everyone's
stage.
lacking detection. No one's got it.
Bob at the arrow. I don't think he'll be penalized for it.
Just got that courier onto Vincenzo, but it only had a couple of wards on it, 1 observer, 1 sentry, so they're still lacking detection. Moonlight Shadow isn't as much of a factor anymore. I even looked to push onto this top tower.
Is under attack.
It's Tino
Dire's
nicely
structures
done
are
taking
fortified.
that
Radiant are
Wild Wing
scanning.
Ripper, so the toughness aura helping the creeps be just that little bit
Dire's
tankier
bottom tower is
to
under
a lot of these
attack.
towers, even using the Medallion of Courage to make this the beefiest melee creep you ever saw.
Dire's top
And there we go.
tower
First
is
tower and
fortified.
Execration continuing to gain a lead. Up to 3,000, 14 minutes in. They trying to reveal Enryu's blink, but it's just onto Vincenzo now. Still Execration pursuing. Try and move their forces into the Radiant. It's top side of the map here. There's Neon. Do you bring the numbers to take this fight? Bob's invis.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Trying to
under
gain
attack.
some information or maybe support sitting on the back line. They'll run into Avatar mode instead. I have a way to be able to drag him back with being off the mark there with the skill. Now, Enryu's going to look to start the fight. He's able to jump in, drop the arena onto 2. If they can get rid of Tino, taking away the team fight opportunity, this might force Execration to reset the fight. But Bob, when he recognizes that all the abilities, at least the stuns, are on cooldown, so he can deal with the Mirana off of the northern side. They kill off the Grimstroke as well, so a 2-for-1, but they're not done just yet. Vincenzo drags back the Mars. They've still got the Static Storm to play with. Avatar mode sending hand in hand. Asta's going to look to get involved as well. No, he doesn't have the greatest mana on the Morphling, and Enryu is still dying to the western side. Vincenzo ends up solo killing the Mars. Should be fine. Avatar mode's not even going to think about going for the torrent. It's just no hope.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Para supports, bro. He was able to take out that Mars solo, probably diving a little bit too deep there. And I believe it was with the help of the Enchantress as well, just a few of those right clicks and the enchant in particular to be able to slow him down so the chase wasn't quite as deadly.
Bob. Lights on cooldown. Nice play, but Tino swings in to provide the safety. Skewer, it's not going to matter though. They still get rid of Bob's Ember. Tino didn't want to drop the RP to start. So Bob is going to go down for this. The one real big start we've seen, they were able to catch out with the slight being cooldown, so this gave a very minor window for Neon, and they capitalized.
Palace is farming so nicely though. The thing is, you went this Desolator, as is pretty normal, but it's changed a little bit. I don't want to say you have to get kills, because like it's 5 damage difference from what it used to be. It just feels so bad if you don't get kills, because you know the prospect of what it might mean. You know, just an extra 20 damage over what it used to provide to you. Pretty nutty.
Alos gonna run to Asta. Ooh, that waveform timing. Oh my. They got the vision though, thanks to the Observer Ward drop. So able to get a lot of health coming back thanks to the attribute shift. So Asta's gonna be okay now. And Ryu jumps in once again. Look at the combo. They're drawing them all into the arena of death. 3 down. Palace is gonna look to stand his ground with Bob nearby as well. They still gotta respect the damage coming out from Execration at the moment. But with the numbers advantage from Neon, they can look to overwhelm them by the triangle, or will they do so? Palace is trying to armlet toggles to his best advantage, but it will not matter. Ink spot up, as to the victor, along with Neon around the skirmish.
What an arena. Being able to catch that many and just pull them all into that tight location. Unfortunately for Enryu at the end there, his arena was so on point, it destroyed all the trees. So he didn't have anything to spear someone to, even though he had it on cooldown. He didn't want to let someone get away, perhaps pushing them down the cliff away from the rest of the team.
Danog, come on!
What up?
Tell me what Palace is saying. This is all you're good for.
Unless he says it. Oh wait, that. I thought you meant the voice line, the potential for a voice line.
Oh, no. Who's he calling a spy? Oh, who's he roasting right now? Is it a bang? Is it targeted at my guy?
I'm just trying to access the
Google Translator.
no, the Tagalog in my head.
What? I don't even know what you just said. I don't know what that means. Is that a dialect?
Filipino, bro.
Oh, bro, you say it like I'm... Come on, you silly.
I think it might actually be an even
Dire are scanning.
more different dialects, like from I think the island where John is from, actually, Cebu.
Tino?
Radiant's
Got BKB, but they also have RP to answer any TP out, so... I mean, you see
hope
there's
there's
forced to be no attempt here. Is there detection? You'd hope so, there is. Just at the last second. Gives back, but again, Andrew! Oh my god, this man's styling on them in this game one. They still end up losing their Conker's life, but the fact that Andrew finds a trade out of anything like that is big respect to the mans.
Doing quite well. Conker nearly got back as well. He actually did that X mark play that you were talking about there whenever you get glimpsed, but he got glimpsed into the static storm, so he couldn't pop it the second time. Of course, X mark lasting a little bit longer on yourself. He actually got it off right at the end there, but he just still had the lingering damage onto him, so he ended up falling. But it was his point of death was right next to his tier 1 tower. A little bit unfortunate for him, because that would have been an amazing result for Neon if they were able to pull it off.
Hey, do you want to know what makes me excited?
What's up?
When we're about to be 20 minutes in and there's an even net worth lead. Like, that makes me excited. That sets us up for an exceptional mid-game where, you know, we could go to a later stage, team fights brewing from either side, already being a game that's been action-packed. I know this is a good way to start off the playoffs.
I mean, win prob's basically 50-50 as well, so that's always some little bit exciting. Might come down to that first Roche fight, and if I was a betting man, I might be looking to put it on Neon a little bit, just because of Enryu and how good his positioning has been in a lot of these engagements. He's just short on having the Arena of Blood off cooldown, so he's not going to be able to catch Tino, because that would have almost definitely led into a Roche attempt.
And we do see his counterpart, like you just mentioned, Tino, although he's a little bit behind in regards to the net worth, about just under 2,000 difference. He's gone Aethlins into the Ag shot, so kind of an interesting item build, at least in game 1 for Tino. Bob, gonna look to start. Henry gets the initial jump, and now the arrows should be fast enough. There's nothing the supports can do to keep the Ember Spirit alive as the burst potential through the roof. They're gonna try and drop down the Static Storm. Dire, they have attempted to dive out of the tier 1 tower, but you see the damage slightly lacking without the Ember being nearby. So gonna drag back Enryu, and it will be the consequence for the attempt on Bob's life.
It lasted a damn long time on Enryu there. He was in Static Storm underneath the tower with a Wraith King hitting him, and he was just saying, oh, you know what, I don't really care all that much. Nicely done by Palos, though, still obviously wanting to play that.
Just ate the arrow. Oh no. I don't know if Spirit Vessel's gonna tick him out. Maybe Mirana just fed her life. Yeah, that's the case.
Yeah, Miranas actually don't do that much damage this early on. You know, you need some kind of item to be able to assist, or just have the rest of your team there so they're able to actually, you know, reliably follow up. But with that tower going down, it opens up the Roche pit for Palos and the rest of Execration as well. They're not going to go for it just yet, obviously respecting the big team fight strengths that Neon have at this point in time, but it does open that window if they do get another team fight in their favor.
Thoughts?
By the Glimmer Cape if he wants to. He's holding on to a lot of money right now.
Thoughts on double Deso? Bob's got a Deso queued up. Oh, okay, never mind. He had it, now he's going Axe, it looks like.
Honestly, it's not even just like a bad damage item these days, so I wouldn't hate it all that much.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying just the value of it with how much it's able to provide. It's pretty costly, cost effective as well. It's similar to like the Crystallis' Avatar mode. Oh, gets the BKB off. Very nicely done. But with the Arcane Rune, it's not going to be the longest cooldown. Palos assassinates Jing across the map, and Bob's going to do the same for the other support. Is that Roche?
I think they just Roche, yeah. Why not? Lane's pushing in. Hot side isn't quite so much, but I don't think you're overly concerned about that one all too much. especially if you're able to get that second life. Again, like I was saying before, Palace, he needs to be the one sieging the towers.
And Ryu. It's another high value kill. They're just bleeding a couple at the moment for Neon through the past minute or so. And a bit concerning considering this net worth lead starting to go back into Execration's favor and giving them opportunity for these items to continue to be accumulated. I mean, Shanks has almost got the Ag Shard. Tino, he was about 2,000 gold behind. Now he's caught back up. He's got his own shard and Blink on the Wraith King. So Execration, they're going to be in a really good position to take this next fight, which I imagine will be based around Roche.
Not really going too much. Sound like a choice, but Abeg doesn't really have much in the form of items right now. Just the Arcane Boots. Looks like he's going for a Glimmer Cape as well. Just not sure how much that's going to provide in this game. He's against 3 strength cores. There's a little bit, sure, that you can dodge out with the Static Storm, but it doesn't feel like the big game changing.
Oh, alright. Enchantress is got a little soft spot for eating arrows this game, it looks like. Yeah, good luck killing her still. Like,
Come on, Sprite.
did you see how survivable she is? She's got that magic resistance, almost level 15, so if she wants for the +5 wisp, which I imagine will be the case. Do want to mention as well across the map, we haven't put a lot of emphasis on Asta, who has just been kind of getting as much farm as possible as Palace gets another solo kill. But do we feel like Morphling's going to be at a stage in this game where Asta will be a concern? Mid? Hold that thought. Conquer might be forced to pop the BKB. Or it's going to give him an opportunity to retreat away. Vincenzo actually just wants to use the Static Storm for Jing instead. And Avatar mode, like we were saying, yeah, BKB forced out, but they're going to continue to chase. They have the RP. Tino just shy. So close. That would have been a huge catch to lead into a tower. I mean, I'm still trying to put some pressure on, but you're lacking creeps, my lads. And Ryu? He doesn't have any follow-up and doesn't even get the kill. Look at the nature of the tendency of Vincenzo. Oh, he's back to full health. Cool arena, my guy.
He gave him the Holy Locket heal on the Enchantress at the very beginning there, just to make sure.
Asta? Nice play from Tino. He's got that skewer back at least, but Asta now, unfortunately, look at all the repositioning that Execration have. There's going to be no escape for the poor old Morphling. He might try and attempt a waveform into a TP out eventually, but Radiant can continue to hunt across the map, and they've got the Sky now, a little bit tanky. I don't know, this is going to be a great escape if somehow Asta makes it away, but with 4 heroes and Execration surrounding... Oh, here's the great escape we're speaking about. They still have the ward to play with towards the backline, but the rest of Dire, they're starting to bring the forces over. And Ryu, along with Avatar mode, able to take away the life of the Disruptor. Shanks is a different beast to kill, and now with Palace showing up, you got to be a little bit cautious on if you can actually still take this second round. As Palace starting to beat into Conquer. Avatar mode's going to look to turn to the high ground of the stairwell. They'll get rid of Palace. It didn't have the reincarnation, still on cooldown. Now Tino as well is going to drop. Neon, they don't even need the Morphling here as all the 4 goons show up to the bottom outpost fight, and they'll be fortunate enough as Bob. Well, he's looking to get involved, maybe looking for some cleanup here, or a constellation prize at best. Swings over to Avatar mode, finds a double kill. Now he's eyeing up Enryu as well. Bob's doing it all. He doesn't need the team. A one-man wrecking machine.
Gets the bottle. I was about to say refill, but not quite. Oh, there is a nice double damage room there on the bot river, though. And with a couple of kills, he got a lot from that. Like, what, 500 each kill? Yeah, about that. And that means that he's going to have Aghanim Scepter and plenty of change after the fact. I think he had about 1,000 gold prior to that fight.
Yeah, my dude's rich as hell. He's got the Nether Shard too. Oh, I think the big thing is the experience as well. He would have got a crap load off the back of that fight, and now he's level 21. Boy.
Not as much as you would have used to. That is one of the big changes with the patch. You get more gold, but less experience for those big kills, the streak enders towards the end of the game.
Very true. I've spoken for just a measly old Enchantress showing the lane. This gives him an opportunity to try and start to control the northern side of the pit. And we have been saying for quite some time now, Roche is that big objective that's kind of glaring at either sides.
I think Bob really needs to make sure that he's securing his the next neutral items for himself. So be a big upgrade for them. What have dropped so far? He's holding on to the blast rig. I mean, I don't hate it, but I feel like a lot of the damage that you're going to be taking is not from just pure right clicks. It's going to be from getting speared into a wall. It's going to be Tidebringer. None of that's really stopped by the
Avatar mode. It's underneath the Observer. They're going to look to blow up the Conquer here, and they've got plenty of damage with Pella stepping in. Now without a key component. Oh, what? Bob? Okay, they drag back another double for Palos. Let's see if Arisa can escape. Doesn't have the mag to play. We're just going to look for a TP out, and it's going to make it. Execration, they'll stop the attempt. Enryu's still going to look to jump in. They've got plenty of damage with a bang nearby as well, along with the at least control to make sure there's no remnant away. They're going to rely on the right clicks at the last second, and wow, Neon still getting a decent trade out of this all, but maybe they've overset the boundaries. Tino gets both their heroes. An incredible use of the shockwave back in. Now Paul and Ryu is going to add to the death tally as well.
Just a couple of free kills for himself. Sure, you get Bob, but Bob did his job. You know, he was making sure to zone them as much as possible, while Wraith King was taking off half of Roshan's HP anyway. He just gets a couple of free kills to be able to end this off, and then takes Rosh anyway. So, nice. They land the arrow, but not to do too much to prevent anything.
Roshan has fallen to Rage.
Asta? They're going to attempt on Tino.
Come on, sprites.
Ooh.
A bit low on mana right now, so I think Asta should probably look to get back. He's got waveform attacks targets, which is nice. Just having the Morbid Mask, which is always a very value item to have prior to your BKB, especially once you hit that level 20.
Do you feel like
A gift from the
is the gameplay for Neon just to look to kite the ages, or do you believe they have a lineup that's still able to fight into this advantage?
I don't really feel like they do actually have the ability to fight into it. Maybe when Morphling gets the BKB, but then again, you've got the Magnus with the BKB piercing Disable with his RP. Disruptor doesn't have Ags, and Ags is actually nowhere close to it, just having a 4-staff coming out to him. So, yeah, it's really just the Magnus that you need to avoid. That's the way I would be looking to play it if I was Asta right now.
Look at how Execration are positioning. They're dangling Shanks, almost daring someone to step on forward, and I mean, Avatar mode's going to do exactly that. Just tried to clear the creeps, but he'll be penalized. I don't know about that comes back, but it's just like, let me mess around a little bit. There we go, T2 Tower up the high ground they go. 60 seconds with no conquer.
Maybe he was hoping for the rage buyback.
Oh,
so that he
Tino! How did he get 3 with the RP? My god, the Magnus! What a way to start! 4 done! Tino, good! They had enough! Oh, I don't blame them.
I would call it based off that as well. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that, you know, you just let out a sigh and say, man, sometimes the team that we're playing against is just too good in that particular game. And, you know, we both like Neon's draft, but they just, outside of Enryu making a few huge plays, it didn't seem like they were able to execute it in any convincing manner. Palos getting far too much out of his lane, and Bob's doing surprisingly well against the Conquer of Avatar mode. So that's something that I would certainly be looking to, well, I was about to say be looking to address, but how do you address that? Like I said, I feel like this Conquer is a winning lane and it just didn't win. Maybe some more rotations coming through from Jing would be the only thing I could really think of.
Yeah, I felt like Enryu was really trying to put the team on the back for a majority of that game. We were singing his praises consistently with his arenas, and we saw he didn't really have some cause to play behind him, though, for the past couple of fights. Like, it was either, you know, Morphling getting picked off the start or Conquer getting picked off the start, which is something you wouldn't really expect with, you know, how survivable the Conquer is able to be. Like, that's something this hero thrives on. So I think Execration with this is keep in mind as well. I mean, they did have a prior series. Of course, they forfeited game 3, but to come into this game 1 looking as solid as they did. Tino had a rough early game. Was very far behind out of all the other cores. But with what he was able to do across the map with the little net worth he had, and just to amplify all the extra damage from Palos, from Bob, we're seeing the praise a lot from Execration. There's a team with this new roster. They're continuing to develop and continuing to look good. But it's just game 1, Danog. What do we look for in our second game? Is it just a execution issue from Neon potentially, or were there some weaknesses that you now can see in the draft?
I'm kind of like, whenever I see this Morphling, I always feel, okay, you're probably going to be lacking a little bit in damage because there is only one way to build it these days, right? It's just going to be the Manta into the BKB into the Skadi. And it just felt like it came a little bit too late, right? As by the time you were looking to go up and try and fight, Tino had landed an amazing RP and they just ended the game because you didn't have buyback, right? So maybe something that's able to come online a little bit sooner could fit OB.Neon's aggressive style quite well.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be the case. Execration, solid game 1 performance now. And the boys on Neon, they are 1 game away of being the second team eliminated here from the Pro Series Season 10. We'll see you guys after a quick break.